We are live once again. This is David K. Gyro with the Dave K. Show with my beautiful co-host, Ms. Datha Bure. How you doing,
Dave,
Datha?
how are you?
I'm doing great.
Cool.
So I hear that you had a little thing in the family where you have some little sickness going on, coughing maybe or something, or is that somebody else?
Oh, that's me sneezing.
Sneezing, okay.
All day.
Right, seasonal stuff, right?
Ugh, I don't know. Woke up sneezing. I must be allergic to something.
Right. It's going around. Look, every time spring and fall rolls around, we get that going. Just push through it, barrel through it.
Are we really in
this.
fall yet, though, Dave? Really? It's 150 degrees outside. When is fall going to show its face?
Yes.
However, I saw on the forecast that next weekend is supposed to be like so nice.
Right. And Timmy, are our mics on? I don't hear anything.
Timmy.
I don't think we're on, or are we?
I see y'all.
So
Okay, you're on. Yeah,
so
we're on. Sorry.
anyway,
Yes.
it's going to be nice.
Yes, very good. So we have a great show today. It's a show that you had the brainstorming idea for a long time.
I did. I've been wanting to do this for so long.
And we finally got it going. But before we go to our special guest sitting across from us, this is going to be like probably one of the most fun shows we had all year.
I think
right?
so.
It's going to be really good.
Top secret stuff.
Yes. Yes,
You
it
are
is.
exclusively being informed of top
Yes.
secrets.
But before we do that, we don't want to open the can too soon because we're not going to be able to stop it. We're not going to be able to close it again.
No, it's like Pandora's box, bro.
Right,
You open
right.
it and that's it.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. So this weekend, I had some fun stuff going on. I know you had some stuff going on too. So we went to the 50th Easy Rider anniversary of the film in Morganza.
I know. It's
Yes,
so cool.
It was really
Wish
cool.
I could have
And-
went.
But what happened was a day earlier, you and I were able to draw for the names of the
We
king
were.
and queen, right?
Right.
So we
It was
had
exciting.
It was, and so you actually drew the names, and we had two special guests: Renee Thibodeau Jr., of course, Renee Thibodeau's son, and Michelle. The little girl's name was Michelle. I think it was Lewis. And she had it on the paper. Remember, she had a little note on the paper.
She
What
did.
she say?
Said she always wanted to be a queen or a princess. Y'all, she stole my heart. I didn't
Yes.
even know her.
Yes,
It
and
was
that was
so sweet.
the best person that could have won. And
Oh.
whenever I announced her name, because I put a plug in for the Dave K Show for the whole crowd, and when I
Cool.
announced her name, that little girl, they brought her on the stage. She was crying. She just couldn't. And we put a little robe on her. We gave her a little wand, put a crown on her, and that little girl was just so cute.
Yeah.
And you'll see the pictures. Go to the Morganza Cultural District Facebook page,
Okay.
and you can see, you and all the people can see the pictures. It is just amazing. We loved
Oh,
it.
that's so cool.
Hey, a lot of fun. And so I was able to go out into the crowd, and I tell you what, we've been getting a good response out of this crowd of about maybe 1,500 people. I was walking, and a lot of people are watching the show.
Wow, that's
Yes,
awesome.
They really are, and they say what a great job we're doing. Well, we need this kind of show in our area.
We do. It's
Yes.
fun. It's fun getting to know everybody.
It really is. And it's fun to go meet our watchers and our viewers.
You're right.
Because you get to see, you get feedback from them and know what you're doing, and what you
Right.
could do better and everything. And so what I was doing, I'm going like, well, let me see if I can find some cool stuff to bring on the show. So it's just, just kind of like souvenirs or relics and everything. So I was looking at one little booth, this lady from Prairieville, and what she does, she makes custom-made jewelry. And
Cool.
no two items are alike. They're all different.
Oh, cool.
And so she has different themes and everything. I says, you know what, this is really cool. I like to get something. I told her for my co-host for the show, I gave her a card. And she goes like, the David K Show, what in the world is this? I said, you need to watch it. It's really, really cool. She goes like, and I said, well, my co-host Datha would probably really like some of the stuff that you have. She goes, well, look around and see what you like and everything. So I saw something that really caught my eye, and she goes like, look, you ain't got to pay me for this. Just give this to her and just say that we just
cool.
want her. So I want to give it to you right here,
Oh,
and this is it right here.
oh, cool.
So check this out. You can open it right now. And it's really, really cool. And so let's give her a plug. I told her we're going to give her a plug for the next 4 weeks.
It's KLR Custom Jewelry. Y'all,
Yes.
this is so cute.
And the colors, when I saw the colors, I got to get it.
Look, okay, let me show it first.
Yes.
Look how cute, y'all.
It is awesome. I love it.
I love it.
Yes. And I'm so glad you wore the yellow dress today because it goes
I
perfectly with
know.
it. And there is one little thing. I don't have my glasses. This little thing right here, she said she's real proud of. Not too many of
Tiger
her.
eye, the fleur-de-lis.
Yes, not too many of her things have that on it. And
think
the
that.
state of Louisiana with the little heart on it, which is really cool.
That is so cute.
So put that thing on your wrist right now. Just sport it
Yeah.
around, and we're going to give, what's her
Take-
name again?
Take this one off. KLR Jewelry, and it is
Yes.
Kim Lindsay Rangold.
Yes. So great job, Miss Kim. Thank you so much for the bracelet for Datha.
Cool beans.
And once again, one of a kind jewelry. There's no other bracelet like this in the world.
Well, that's pretty. That
So
is so
yes,
cool.
I love it, love it, love it.
Yay! Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being a great co-host on the Dave K Show.
Aw.
All right, well, sounds great. So, okay, that's really cool. That was our takeoff roll for today. We got to fool around too much because we got so much to talk about, right?
We do. Oh, it's very
Okay,
cool.
once again, so you approached me about a month ago, and you go like, Dave, we need to do a show on what?
Storming Area 51.
51.
Okay, so I thought these little teenage kids was just going to hit the bounce houses. I totally did.
Right.
I thought they were going
Right.
to go trampoline freaking crazy, but they didn't. They were serious.
Yes, they were.
They were very serious.
They really, really were.
I didn't even think half of them knew where Nevada was.
Right. And the thing is, once the news stations picked up on it, national news networks, it blew up into this big thing.
It did.
And they were expecting like a lot of people to come, but I think how many people came?
I don't know, but if they would have totally strategically thought this through, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yes.
They could have had 500,000 here, 500 decoys over there to distract them
Yes.
and just sneak in. Nobody'd ever know. They could have
Yes.
surrounded the whole
They
thing
really could have.
if
They
they would
really
have
could.
thought that through a little better.
Yep.
But they
So-
did what they had to do.
Yes,
They got
made
the
their
message.
point. Yes, they made their point. So that being said, I'm going like, Dathan, what a great idea for a show. Let's go ahead
was.
and do that. And so I said,
Oh, and by the way, we lived through the alien attack. Just saying.
yeah, we
Nevada
survived.
was hot.
We survived.
It was hot.
And you're not like a reptilian because your pupils are still around.
Sometimes.
Right. Right.
It depends on. Okay, it's daylight. What happens at night? Who knows?
Right. Well, right. I'll leave that at that. Right. But so I'm going like that's a great idea for a story. But what it can be used as is an entry point to get to some more serious stuff.
That's right. There's
Stuff
a
that's-
lot of stuff. A
Yes.
lot of stuff that people want to know about that don't have the know how to ask about it, or they think they know. They need to know.
They
You
really,
need
really
to
do.
know.
And so just out of, I don't know if you want to call it coincidence, divine intervention, or whatever, my good friend Jean Franquez, we recently did the 48-hour film project this past
Yeah.
year, and you were a great actress. You did a great job.
I died,
Oh, my
y'all.
gosh, you were awesome. You
Totally
deserve-
died.
You deserve an Academy Award for your role. You did really good.
It was fun.
So my good friend Jean Franquez in Laplace, we do a lot of stuff with him and everything. So he did a 48-hour this year also, and he had our guest on as part of his team.
Cool.
And so Gene was going like, Dave, you need to get in touch with Dave because he has a show and he does a really good job. Dave and him do a great job. So you need to get in touch with Dave and get your stuff out. You know a lot of stuff. So I'm going like, and he called me up. He's going like, hey, Gene told me about you just as we were talking about the Area 51 show. And I'm going
Total
like,
coincidence.
this just could not have been timed perfectly. So,
Right, and it just happened, last week?
Yes, it really did. Last week is whenever it happened. So
Yep.
it's perfect time for us. So without further ado, enough of us talking everything. I want to introduce our special guest. He has done quite a few things already, so we take him seriously because he knows what
Very,
he's talking
very.
about. He knows.
Totally official.
Yes, he knows what he's talking about. He's a third-class petty officer in the U.S. Navy, 2 years in aviation on the flight deck of the USS Harry Truman, which is awesome. That's
Right.
CVN 75 for you guys out there that don't know. Also, 2 years as a personal chef for the commanding officer of the aircraft, which is amazing.
Got to
because-
feed the boys.
because the most safest meal on the ship has to be for the
Well, yeah.
commanding officer.
Oh, that would be bad, man.
Right.
Oh,
right.
how bad would that be? You could take a whole ship out.
I know, right?
Woo!
If nobody steers the ship,
Oh,
what are we going to do?
Oh, Dave.
Right.
That could end it all.
Oh, I don't know. We might need to edit that out. Might get nobody any ideas. Also, he served in Iraqi freedom, which is really cool too. So,
That is cool.
And the shock and awe, I think it was right. So, all right. So, without further ado, our very special guest we have today is Mr. E. Alex Patout III. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Get close to that mic. Eat that mic. Here you go.
Hey guys.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy and humbled to be here. Absolutely
Yes.
happy and humbled to be here. I'm definitely just a messenger. You know, as a kid, I grew up at the libraries, find the UFO books, find the Bigfoot books, find all the stuff that was definitely different, and
Yes.
reading all that stuff and just kind of staying current with it. You know,
But
Right.
Bigfoot does exist, right?
Bigfoot is real.
He's real!
Yeah.
Yo, I'm so
Yeah.
excited, Breeze! He's real.
Right. Yes, he is.
Yay.
I know he's got to be real. There's
Well, he's
there's
gotta be
blurry pictures from the
real.
70s that prove it.
No, it's stuff that happened before then.
There's
Cameras
these big
lie.
old footprints that prove that he's real. He has to be real.
Maybe. But
Right.
people can make that.
Yeah, I don't think Shaq was making footprints back then.
Poor Shaq. He does have some big feet now.
22s, baby.
Yes, he is. He's pretty big.
Jeez.
So we got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. But so I think the best place to start would be let's start with the Area 51 debacle thing that happened last week, is what I call it.
The
you know.
storm.
The storm.
The epic
Right.
storm.
Yeah, storm Area 50.
The
So-
storm that teenagers took wild.
They-
Crazy.
They did. They
Right.
did. I
They
mean,
seriously.
what, we had millions on Facebook saying
Millions.
that they were going to be there.
I know.
Yes.
I think that's amazing, just the aspect that it went that big,
Yeah.
that people were that interested, whether they believed it or not. They had the idea of, I want to see what happens to this, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
and it's good. You
It
know, it's
is.
good to know that teenagers at this day and age, they have so much technology and so much misunderstanding that they actually understand something that we grew up with.
You know, we grew up in the generation of, oh my gosh, we watched the internet become real.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I remember watching in my dad's office the Netscape comments,
Yes.
going through watching a movie like, oh, that's information that's being downloaded right now. This is craziness from all over
Right.
the world. But they grew up with that.
Right.
They already had it.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
So that aspect of being connected on such an international level was a no biggie to him.
Right.
What's the next thing? What is the next thing? The
I-
thing is what is it that we don't know about that potentially could be something real?
That's right. That's
Right.
true.
Right. So before we go too much further than that, tell us for the people that don't know and had their head in the sand for the past week, what was this whole store in Area 51 thing about?
Pretty much, a gentleman on Facebook decided to go along and say, let's all get together at Area 51. Those who don't know Area 51, it is an area in the Nevada desert that was pretty much purchased by the United States Air Force many years ago. I want to say 40s, 50s. I do not know the exact year. I apologize to my guys out there who do. That where the Air Force pretty much built the research and tested the U-2 spy plane. That's what it was made for originally, from what we know from our information, from what the mainstream story goes with.
Right.
And then years and years later, there was this talk about there's other things going on there. And then in the 80s, this certain gentleman named Bob Lazier went to George Cap. I'm saying it wrong, but George Knapp. Thank you,
Yes.
George Knapp.
Yeah, we're coast to coast.
But before George Knapp was with Coast to Coast, he reached out to George Knapp, where he was just a reporter
Oh, yeah,
for a
'cause-
local
yes.
television
That's right, I
station.
remember that. That's the background,
And
yes.
did a blind face, obscured the name, changed the name, obscured the face, and he talked about how it has aspect of that he worked in Area 51 in a certain project where he did see craft, where he did at one time see inside of a door, where he thought he saw something that was not of this world that he had never seen before, and was quickly told, turn your head away, continue walking down the hall.
I know that
Nothing
story.
to see here. Just move on.
Correct, correct.
Right. It's
It was
amazing.
brought to light with Independence Day for me. Totally.
But that was the whole aspect, was that we want you to think that whatever is there is bad, scary, and it's going to hurt you,
Suck your brains out, man. It's
Right?
total alien.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
We should be afraid of what we don't know, as opposed to it's okay and we
Right.
can learn from what we don't know.
Right. Scare tactic.
Yes,
Build it up
absolutely.
to be this horror thing, and it ends up being, well, we're friendly, really.
Right.
We're not going to eat you.
Right.
We don't like your brains. That's gross.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So going back to George Knapp, of course, he was based out of a television station in Las Vegas, which is great because that's where he
that's right there.
that's where he was, right in
Yeah.
the middle of it all and
Yeah.
everything. So that's great. So that's pretty much it. So the whole thing was designed as a thing. We're going to storm Area 51. We're going to get through. We're going to bust through. We're going to find out what's going on back over there. Of course, that backfired. Very few people showed up.
We're making a stand
right, making a stand, making a statement.
with one leg because half the people didn't show up.
Right, right.
Gotta make a stand with two.
But if they did accomplish something, what they did accomplish was getting it out there
Publicity.
to the publicity. Right.
You're right. And
Right.
a lot of teenagers know a lot about Area 51 now,
Yes,
which
they do.
leads to a lot more questions.
It does.
A
And that's-
lot
and that's a
more.
good thing too.
Yeah.
So what
The truth is out there
We were
for those
talking-
who watch the X-Files.
That's right. That's,
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
It's
Her.
a good show.
Yes.
Which, if I could say real quick, because I got to give a
Yes.
nod out to my boy. Because in the end, when I started this journey that we're at right now, in this
Right.
very present moment, what's led me to this knowledge was one day deciding to make friends on Facebook with a guy named John D'Souza. I learned about John D'Souza from Corey Goode and Dave Wilcox movie, okay? And this guy, John D'Souza, was a career FBI agent, and he was what was the X-Files. He goes by the X-Man because he truly was what the X-Files was. He was a part of the real thing, and he wrote the first 2 seasons. He put together his stories are the first 2 seasons of the X-Files.
So X-Files do actually exist. It's
I
not a
mean, from
myth.
what
Wow.
John D'Souza is saying is that what we're seeing in season 1 and season 2, some of these stories are based upon what he went through as an FBI detective.
Right.
And then he made the characters of Scully and Mulder. Fun fact, Scully was not supposed to be a female.
Huh.
She was actually supposed to be a male from the backwoods
Plot
of
twist.
somewhere in the South, of having a little bit of an accent, but not really believing the whole aspect of these flying saucers. You know what I'm saying? And witchcraft and vampires and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a female. It was
Yeah.
actually supposed to be a male.
I don't know if I'd have dug that.
Right, exactly. Which
Yeah,
is why, you know, you get these people who are in the movie business and the TV business. They know what sells. You got to get a male, female. A
Right.
female character says, "I don't believe what you're saying. You're a crazy male." Male
Right.
says,
Yes.
I'm going to show
Opposites
you.
attract.
I mean, he had
Right.
the character of Mulder. He had the flying saucers. You know, I believe in this. Yeah, I believe written on it. It was so much aspect of, and they called, what was his nickname? Do you remember his nickname? In that
Spooky
film?
Mulder.
Spooky.
There you go.
Okay, all right.
That's
here's
right,
A,
that's
here's
right.
a fun fact, too, as in sequel, because you had a fun fact, too.
Uh,
I was in the fan club. I love the show.
Okay.
I had the
Yeah.
poster. I still have the
Nothing
poster,
wrong with
I
that.
think.
Nothing wrong with that
I
at all.
love the show.
That's great.
Conspiracy theories are in,
Yes,
if
they
they're
are.
actually conspiracy theories.
Well,
But like for those
Yeah.
who don't know what X-Files are, it's cases that have never been they've not been solved. They are like non-theoretical cases that people don't believe in.
there are cases that have something to do that's not of a regular
Right.
aspect of detective training, that there's something more to this, but we can't find really what it is.
Right.
That's above their
Right.
pay grade. Yeah.
It's above their pay grade.
Which is
Right.
why they got sent to the basement.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
I know my stuff, man.
Right. That's it. Dathan's
Little
got it.
things you did not know about me,
That's
Dave,
right.
coming out today.
That's right. Watch the Dave K show. You'll always learn more about Dathan. We always want to know more about Dathan.
I do like the
Yes.
X-Files, though. I totally
Yes.
believe everything they say. It's just too obvious.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It really, really is.
I mean, if you think about it, the triangle that was shown in the show,
Oh, yeah.
that aspect of that triangle is what people in real life have seen with their own, and not just like 5 or 6, but hundreds around the world have seen that craft.
yeah, Lubbock
Yeah.
Lights.
Okay.
Texas is one of them, right?
I mean, all over the world have
Right.
seen that
It's a common
craft.
theme.
I just wish
Amazing.
everybody would see it so everybody stopped saying, oh, is it real or not? No, it's real. I've seen it. I've seen it in Alexandria. We were at youth camp one day
You
at
told me
church.
about that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that,
So
Dathan.
it was like, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but
No, you're
we didn't
not.
have cameras back then on phones, okay? We had phones, but we didn't have cameras on them. You could take pictures of this stuff. So you're sitting there, and it's a group of a bunch of kids outside.
Mm-hmm.
And we were close to Fort Polk. Is that over there in Alexandria?
Mhm. Yep.
So we're really close to that place. And they had these 3 lights, like spears, and they were lined up on top of each other. And they stood there, not stood, but hovered for a few seconds.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they all darted in different directions.
Make any sounds or anything?
No. Freaked me out.
Let me
And
tell
I
you
was like
something.
13.
You know, Dave brings about, did it make any sounds? And I will tell you about an aircraft that I saw up close and personal. We were in Fort Lauderdale, my aircraft carrier was, for being part of the Land, Air, and Sea Show.
In Fort Lauderdale?
In Fort Lauderdale. It's a huge Land, Air, and Sea Show where the military
Yeah.
comes out, they do a big thing. Well, the year before we went out before Operation Iraqi Freedom, we were selected to be the aircraft carrier to go out there. And this is a program that is sponsored by some big names, and they bring out all branches of the military, and they fly over the beach, and we were situated a half a mile off the coast of Fort Lauderdale.
Cool.
B-52, excuse me, not B-52, I belayed my last. B-2, the B-2, that is the triangle,
Yeah.
okay, flew over the deck.
Day or night?
Day.
Okay.
Broad daylight.
Broad daylight. Flew over the deck of my aircraft carrier, low fly, okay, to show the people on the beach. But it was over us.
Never made a sound.
It was a
That,
hum.
Wow.
You know,
A
I've been
hum.
hearing a hum
Something
lately.
that
Wow.
big.
That's crazy.
It's huge. That can block out the sun when it goes right by it.
And just make a simple hum.
That's amazing, man. Amazing.
And
Yeah.
they-
I love this
Amazing.
stuff.
And they
Yes,
say
it's
that
incredible.
alien technology is not real. If you can make that, and that's D-classed,
Yeah.
okay,
Imagine.
right?
It's endless.
Right.
The
In
possibilities are endless.
They are. In the year, what year was that again now?
We're looking at 2002, 2003.
Right.
So back then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
so,
you're
yes.
almost 10 years, 20 years into it.
Yeah, almost 20 years. Yeah,
Jeez,
18, 17
golly,
years.
Time just
right.
went by fast right
yeah,
there.
so we
Really
always
fast.
heard that the military is way far advanced technology than average citizenship. By the time it trickles down to us mere citizens, who knows what they're up to right now, right? Let's talk about drones.
Let's talk about drones.
Drones are
Right.
scary.
Yeah, let's talk about
Especially
it.
when you're laying outside
Right.
on your patio
Oh,
and somebody
yeah.
could hover over the
Uh-oh.
top of
That's
you and
not
like
good.
Amazon dropping packages on me while I'm tan. It ain't gonna happen.
You know, I was talking to Dave
Right.
last week, and he brings that up, and we were talking about this, and the simple fact is, I mean, when I cooked for the commanding officer of my aircraft carrier, I saw some things that that at the time was classified. One thing that was very interesting is that we had drones over Baghdad while things were going on, and I was able to see live feed
Wow.
over Baghdad while things were going on.
2005. What
Man,
year
that's
was this?
crazy.
Oh no, this was 2003.
2003.
Yeah.
That's
way early.
still-
Yeah, you know the aspect
Wow.
that, and these were, and I asked him what was that? He said we have things flying around the city, and it wasn't like an F-14, it wasn't like an F-18, it wasn't like a military aircraft per se, because you could see what we now see. We see drone videos. It
Right.
was exactly like that, and I was like, this
Wow.
is unbelievable that we can be eye in the sky without having to be in the sky.
It's awesome.
Yes.
And
It's
now,
scary.
And
Really is.
and now it's all just matter of fact. It's no big deal. We have shows on HBO and different things where they show spy shows and the drones and everything.
Yep.
But that's been going on for at least 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it's a new thing.
Sure.
It's been around for
And
a minute.
It's just gotten out there, which is
Yes.
scary at what's going on that we don't know about.
right.
What's going to come out?
Yep. And the thing is, it trickled down, within the past maybe about 6 or 7 years into the civilian community. We're now using drones for television shows,
Amazon
film video.
deliveries.
Amazon delivers.
I'm
Another
sorry,
one.
that just
Right.
freaks me out.
Yeah, I saw some people hooking up a shotgun to a drone, which is totally illegal, and shooting and firing things from it. But,
Bravo, people. Do not
right.
do that. We do
So
not
this is another
authorize
thing that
that.
I heard that y'all might find pretty interesting too. So of course the helicopter, back when they supposedly got Bin Laden, which I don't think they really did at that point in time, but they landed the helicopter in a compound which was totally silent, and they had to blow the thing up because I think it crashed or something, so they blew it up. It was made out of this weird looking material.
Correct. It was a stealth helicopter from what
Right.
the movies and everything says about it. It was a stealth helicopter. It had
I
the
gotta get one of
technology.
those.
Right,
Oh,
right.
man.
Get your Lamborghini.
Well, yeah, we got to get that first.
I can go to the Saints game and nobody knows.
You're right. Drop me in
Drop
the middle
me.
of the field on it.
I'm ready to roll.
Let's
Let's
do
go.
this.
Let's
That's
do
it.
this.
Radar
do
can't even get
this.
it. So the helicopter was silent, supposedly. I believe it was silent. And so now we get into the drones. Now it's filtering down into civilians. Like now the kids are playing with drones this big in their backyard.
That's nothing but trouble right there. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Right.
I mean, you do realize that the military is utilizing video games as recruitment tools now.
Okay, so I'm good at Halo, so I can shoot somebody from a mile away.
Whether-
Headshot.
Right. But
Right.
that whole aspect of utilizing video games, whether it being driving a car, flying a plane,
It's true.
that they're watching, they're monitoring. Do you remember that movie in the 80s? They're actually going to redo it, The Last Starfighter.
I remember
I
that.
don't
one.
Okay,
Yeah,
Last
okay, this
Starfighter,
might be
yeah.
before your time. But The Last
Yeah.
Starfighter was about this kid in a trailer park who was playing those like big games that you'd take a whole box. It was wooden,
Yeah,
the
like
real
Pac-Man and
like
stuff like that.
Pac-Man, that kind
Right,
of stuff. And you go
Defender.
to video arcades. Okay, he's playing this game. He beats it. It's called The Last Starfighter. Then all of a sudden, this car comes up. Tells the young kid, "Hey, Alex," because his name was Alex, happened to be Alex.
right.
How
Gets
coincidence.
into and says, "Hey, why don't you jump in? We'll take you for a little ride." He ends up being an alien. The car turns out to be a spaceship. Takes him to another galaxy. He's like, "Dude, we actually put the game down there so we could like watch and monitor who's the best one. And you're the best one. And we need you to save our galaxy."
It's like Flight of the Navigator.
Right?
That's another one.
Good
yeah, remember
That was
one?
a
Yes.
Disney.
Oh,
Right.
well.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's get into that. Right. Yeah.
poor Disney.
But yes, Last Starfighter. So what you're saying is basically, the Hollywood and all the people with the resources are monitoring people like us that have skills that they can use.
Well, they better be monitoring hard now because pimp kids know that stuff now.
And-
Oh, yeah.
Freeze, psh,
And
Right.
the crazy thing is that we're talking about a movie that was science fiction
Right.
30 plus years ago, that the aspect of that, we're watching you play video games
Right.
and we're recruiting you to come work for us now.
So why are they not recruiting
Right.
now?
Oh no, they're still recruiting. The Army uses it as one of their like they have an Army game that the Army has out there on different consoles and stuff. They have little recruitment things of drone people who fly the drones. They're somewhere in the world flying it on the same aspect of
That's
what it is to play a video game. So if I
true.
can be in my house and know how to do that, I can put you in a seat somewhere in some office and do the exact same thing.
So another-
exact same
Wow.
thing.
Well, in other words, we're not safe with anything we have.
No, we're
Phones. Apparently, Alexa who I still say don't understand me.
Right.
Miss Honda, who don't understand me. My
Well,
iPhone,
count
who
that as
takes
a blessing
pictures
if
of
she
me.
doesn't understand it. Count that as a blessing, but I don't think she
Yes.
really does, though.
I don't think she does,
don't
though,
know.
Dave. I
don't
told you,
know.
I think I got ghosts in my house. Like I was telling Riley, the other day I woke up, and I don't know if I said this on the air or not, because I don't remember if it happened last week or it was this week. But anyway, she was
Right,
playing rap
so-
music, and I'm like, okay, I think my house is haunted as it is, but Alexa busting up in Tupac, is he
Wow.
haunting my house?
How
Wow.
old's your house and how many owners have it had?
It's had 3, but the thing is, things follow us.
Hmm.
It's always been that way from the day. Well, my little brother died when he was 3.
Okay.
And this is the thing that gets me, because like when Riley was 3,
Uh-huh.
almost the exact same age he died.
Right.
She was playing with somebody in our hallway, and I'm like, who is she playing with? You know, she's 3. She can't have. She's by herself. Who is she playing
Right.
with? So I walk up to her and said, Riley, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? She says, Cayman. I said, oh, whoa. Time out. I didn't say his name. So I called my mom. I'm like, did you say his name? She said, I never told her his name. I said,
Wow.
well. And ever since
That's
then,
amazing.
it has
Wow.
been stuff tugging my shirt. We had a helicopter, 3 o'clock in the morning, every night, with every night.
Wow.
And it just
that's
stopped
amazing.
when I moved, but other things start happening. And it's like everywhere we go, it follows us. And I'm okay with that, because to me, that's a comfort. He's there.
Right.
And I love that thought. You know, don't freak me out with Tupac playing it on my Alexa, but you know
Right,
what?
right.
Humor's humor.
That's
He's still
interesting. Wow.
growing.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
still
he's only
growing from the
3.
other side.
It's
Wow.
cute.
Well, it's interesting. I like Steve Quayle. I don't know if you're Steve Quayle. I love Steve Quayle. So he talks about spiritual machines. He talks about spirits inhabiting machines, which is really interesting. And of course,
That's a movie too. What's it called?
Ghost in the Machine.
No, this is
Yeah,
the one
right.
with Amelia Estevez on it. Is that his name?
trying to remember if somebody's on Facebook now, look that up and put that in the comments below.
ACDC plays on it. It's 18-wheelers take over everything. They
It's-
kill
it's
everybody.
like a post-apocalyptic type movie or
Yeah,
something?
it happened in the 80s though. It's like it's bad.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, that can happen for sure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's get back to the drones. We got to move on. One thing I found one thing interesting. I was doing some research that I've read. Back in wartime situations, the Middle East or whatever. So a lot of times the military wants to put C4 and blow buildings up and blow structures up. So you might know where I'm going with this. So.
Yeah.
You talk about drones being this big. No, they're drones this big right
Oh, yeah,
here.
cameras,
and
too.
So I've read, yes, with cameras too. I've read number one, they take these little drones, they'll fly them into the enemy's buildings, and they'll actually put it as a fly on the wall with
Yep.
the camera
Yeah,
and
so-
audio and video.
Yep.
And these little things transport little pieces of C4, and little by
So
little,
don't swallow bugs, people. It may be a
Don't do
C4
it.
drone.
little by little, they
That's bad.
they pack little pieces of C4 to get one big chunk of C4, and they blow the building up.
That could explain why I swallowed that mosquito that time when my stomach hurt for a week.
Right.
You're
I'm
fishing.
joking. I'm totally joking.
You in the basin. They got mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dude.
no.
Oh, we
Which
just gave him
one
an
happened?
idea.
And like you said, they get in any way they can.
We
It-
just gave him an idea.
In the world of Cajun country, when you think those mosquitoes are just mosquitoes, maybe one is not.
No,
Don't get
uh-uh.
bit. It won't kill you. It will explode you.
Right.
C4, baby.
That's it. That's it. So that is really,
Epic.
really cool. How cool
Epic.
is that?
Epic. That's crazy.
That would be like getting
Right.
bit and all of a
Start
sudden
writing
growing up.
it. Start writing the script now. Let's just start writing the script.
That's a good
That's it.
idea.
We want to stop over here. We don't get anybody no ideas.
Oh, no, we
But,
copyright that. It's copyrighted. The
That-
Dave K Show.
That's my
Right.
own IP, ladies and gentlemen. That's mine.
Right.
That's
Right.
E. Alex Patout III.
That's it. Hey, look, the internet was here. How long was the internet here before we got it?
Oh, good
And now,
grief.
Right.
and Al
Got it here
Gore did
back
not
in the
invent the
20s.
internet.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you got to
Right.
think.
Right. I mean, if you watch David Wilcox and Corey Good's movie, they talk about that aspect of what technology has been around before it was made public. And we were just talking about phones, right? We were
Right.
just talking about phones. So if you think about this, our cars that we have now run on gas.
Right.
Okay. That technology was invented at least 50 years ago.
Right.
Okay. But we can update cell phones like that. We can bring a new cell phone out like that.
Right.
Okay. We can take pictures as civilians now on a phone at night with a new iPhone 11 like that.
Right.
The iPhone, like
But-
I said, popped up in 2009 out of nowhere.
But we still got to put
2007.
gas in our
2007, yeah.
cars. But we still got to put gas in our cars.
Well, then
We
there's a little nut that they could give you 500 miles to the gallon. All they got to do is screw it in, and your car gets instant 500 miles to the gallon. I need that nut in my life.
I get that, but it's beyond that.
It is. I
It is
agree.
completely beyond that. If we can do
Gas
that
is so
technology
old
to a
age.
telephone,
Right.
to a little thing that we know had more technology than on the Saturn V rocket when it went to the moon.
Right.
Now, what we carry, every single one of us, pretty much, and at least American society carries us. Okay,
Right?
Right.
what are we doing that's not allowing the real story to be told, and which goes back to Area 51.
Area 51 is
Which,
to all of
which
it.
Yes,
goes
it
back
is.
to the fact that we have these people on the mainstream talking about a place that supposedly doesn't exist, but yet we know it does exist, that was doing technology, reversing from what we believe could have been
Right.
something that came from somewhere else, okay? Utilizing that technology for our advantage, because isn't the one thing they say that America is the greatest country in the world military... excuse me, I apologize, my stuttering.
No, go for it.
Militarily,
Yeah.
we are supposed to be considered a superpower.
Right.
Why would we say something as strong as that? Not because we have F-15s, F-35s, F-18s, because we can sell those to another country.
Right.
What is it that we have that sets us apart technological? Oh my God, my stuttering's bad.
Oh, you
I
good,
just
go
don't know how to talk so much. I'm
Yeah.
still from South Louisiana. I'm learning how to say them big words. But on our technology aspect
Sure,
of
yeah.
things, why are we supposed to be the ones setting the bar? And that's why it also comes into play. They're talking about China. Okay?
Yeah.
Because possibly China may have stuff that is on our level or not.
Right.
And then it goes back to China. We'll come back to Clinton.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay, I know.
Right,
I
let's
just
go
said
there.
We
something.
just got into
we
the
just-
Right.
grit of
we
the
just
knit.
got
That's
into
it.
the grit of the knit.
That's
it.
right.
For the
Go there.
simple fact that in his administration, this technology was being sold, and people have talked about the fact that stuff was sold to China.
Right.
Okay, what was sold to China? Do we know what was sold to China? We don't know what was
It
sold
wasn't
to
rice
China.
candy, people.
It-
No. True, right.
No
was
rice
it,
candy.
Was it secrets? Was it paper secrets? Was it?
It's technology.
It was
Technology?
definitely not Tony Sachery's.
Right.
No.
Oh,
Sure,
if I
right.
could say that, I mean, I'm
Right.
just saying,
Right.
you know,
Exactly.
see,
That's what it should have been. That's
But
what
I'm
it
saying
should
is,
have
it's more than just what we think it is.
Yeah, because ramen noodles would taste way better if they had that in them, right?
With a
Right.
slice of American cheese.
Holler!
Ooh,
Look,
yeah.
as a chef, I'm just saying this. I can totally make ramen noodles taste like something that
Yes,
comes out of a
indeed.
restaurant.
Oh.
It's one of my favorite
Get the
things
hook up
to
with
do.
him because
I
she was
know,
eating ramen
right?
noodles the
Oh,
other night.
look, we eat on a budget, baby. Budget. Gotta have
it
ramen
up.
noodles every night.
Spice it up any way you can. That's right. 1,000
right
ways.
there.
That's you need to make a cookbook. 1,000 ways to make ramen noodles.
I sure should.
I need to make a cookbook together.
Not just water. It gets bigger than that.
Yeah, a little wine.
Ooh.
That's true too.
Let the wine reduce.
I usually
and,
drink the
you
bottle
know.
before I cook with it, though. Can't do that.
We'll buy 2 bottles.
And
then.
that's
Buy
why
2
we
bottles.
live in South Louisiana, y'all.
I know, right?
For all those who are out there that's not from Louisiana who are watching this, yeah, we start
Yes.
drinking before we start cooking. You
Sure
know,
that.
That's right.
It
That's
just
how
happens.
the best recipes happen on
Right?
a half drunk.
Right?
That's
right.
right.
Pour it all.
Yeah.
I talked to this
Add a
one.
little more of this and a lot more of
I
that.
talked to this one chef who took potato chips and used it as a batter for his fried pork chops.
Ooh.
I said, "Where'd you come up with that?" He goes, "I was drunk,
Right. Wait, but it tastes
Drunken
good.
chicken?
drunk."
Who thought
right,
about that?
Right,
That is
true.
the best
Right.
chicken
That's
ever.
true.
right,
Woo!
right.
That's
I'm
true.
excited.
That's
I'm
true.
hungry and
Yes,
excited.
right. After the
Fried
show.
turkeys,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
but you gotta be careful with that. If you drop
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
there when they're frozen, you can totally hurt yourself
No,
and
well,
catch everything on
well,
fire.
duh, water goes
Yeah,
like
no.
that. It's a
It's
water.
bad.
Right.
I've
frozen
known someone
water
who's caught
to-
stuff on fire with that.
She speaks from experience, y'all.
Yeah, that's why it takes a slightly less Cajun who's drunk to
Right.
do fried turkeys.
Well, right.
Which one can still talk? Which one can still talk? You're frying the turkeys. You're frying the turkeys.
So I grew
That's
up in
cute.
the 80s. LPB, listen to Justin Wilson, of course. We love Justin
LPB.
Wilson. We love all his stories. His fake Cajun accent, which you knew he had a real Cajun, but he was a good spokesperson for Southern Louisiana cooking.
Yep.
So we love Justin Wilson, and it was always just a little bit of wine,
A little more.
which it cooked out.
Okay, the whole bottle.
Right, exactly, right.
Yeah.
And he'd use his hand as a measuring.
Me
like,
too. I do that.
Right, but he'd go like a little bit more.
Yep, me
okay.
too.
But that's
We
the thing
gotta
about
come to your
salt.
house for-
That's the
for
thing
supper.
about
That's
salt
okay.
is that when you add salt, you really need to do it in your hand.
It's true. That's
because
a
you
true
cannot
thing.
see. This is a little chef tip
Ah,
for all those
interesting.
out there right there. When you add salt, please, for the love of Jesus, the baby Jesus, do not add it just straight to the food. You cannot see what's going into there. Add it to your hand, then go from there.
Yeah,
Remember,
because weevils happen in everything,
you
y'all.
can always add
true.
less.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take away the more.
No, plus the weevil that accidentally gets into your
Makes sense.
gumbo.
Right.
Makes sense.
Even though it's actual protein, ew. Weebles? No, I don't
Right.
think so.
Answer me this. Okay, so you're in the restaurant business. I got a question. So we're digressing a little bit or whatever. But so I hear that when inspectors come in, the health inspectors come in. Oh boy, here we go.
You never told me this was going to come up.
No, we can't. We got to talk about Q too now.
No, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is a little squiggly thing on the queue right here.
That was a tidbit of it's coming.
Right. So not only any restaurant I'm talking about, when the health department comes, they're looking for rodent droppings and stuff like that, insects and stuff, roaches or whatever. You cannot get away from it 100%. I heard that they're looking for under a certain percentage of all these things in restaurants before they give you a passing grade. Is that true or not? You cannot have any restaurant.
Ponchos.
Well,
They failed every test they had
And they're
for
still
the
in
food.
business.
Look, they shut them down, but I'm gonna tell you, their food, I loved it. I don't care how sick I
Oh,
got.
it's good. It's Mexican buffet,
Then we
right?
went to go eat the one on Stigan, and they shut them down, of course, because they shut all the good restaurants down.
Yes, they do.
Droppings and all.
Yes, they
I'm
do.
just going to
Everybody
say
got
this.
Particularly fast food places and
If-
stuff like that. I mean,
Well, you
If
never
you
walk
hire
right.
in. What you don't see.
a contract, an exterminator,
Yeah.
have them come every 2 weeks, there's not a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Keep it consistent. Keep in contact with the people who are working there. When the exterminator comes, they'll ask them, "Well, have you noticed anything?" "Yeah, I saw something there. I saw." That's not, they take care of it. That's what they're for. That's what they're
Right.
paid for. And,
Right.
whether it be in a restaurant or any kind of big food service establishment, they have contracts with people to come in there and
right.
do there.
Right.
If they don't,
Roaches are a delicacy,
You know
It's all
what?
country.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, if you're hungry enough.
is this a small soft shell crab or is this a cockroach? I can't tell right now. It's so fried.
Hey, they eat anything fried. Look at me. I'll eat a shoe if you stick me in the right.
Right.
If fried's good, it eats good.
There
That's
you
all
go.
I'm
There
saying.
you go.
Crunchy's crunchy, right?
That's right.
I guess case in point, I can say it. Zapp's potato chips. I heard had a big
Oh,
thing in their
don't do
warehouse.
that. Please
Right.
don't do that.
At the warehouse in Zapp's potato chips, I heard that there was like a lot of that stuff going on, but they still passed.
I still eat their food because you know what? And I don't
I do
like
too.
a lot of chips,
The
but
jalapeno zaps.
these little bubbles of grease that you bite into are just so good.
Oh yeah.
It
I
makes
got-
them go down
Right.
well.
I got
It's
a
like the
Zapp's.
Whoppers.
Yeah.
I got a little Zapp's potato chip story if you allow me
Yeah,
to
do
tell
it.
you.
Do it. It's
So
Dave K
We
show.
love Zaps. Just saying, Zaps
Whatever
is the
you want
best.
to talk about, it's the Dave K
when
show.
I was out of the Navy, I went into the music business cooking for rock stars, where I was director of hospitality for
Wow.
a concert venue called the Norva
Cool.
in Norfolk, Virginia. Just like NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana, it's Norva, Norfolk,
Oh, okay.
Virginia. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that
And I was cooking for the Black Crows. And on their rider, it said that they like Zapp's potato chips. And I was like, oh, wait, I could totally pull this. Because when you do a
Wow.
rider, it depends on how much tickets have been sold to how much money you can spend.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Not everything gets sold out. So then your budget's a little bit different. So you
Right.
have to learn how to cook, plan accordingly. Well, Black Crows, they didn't sell out, but they did good. They did good. So, and I saw that. I said, wait, I can totally drop the name. See, my dad's a well-known famous chef from Louisiana. And so I called Zapp's Potato Chips. I said, hey, this is Alex Patout III. I'm taking care of the Black Crows. And on their rider, that says Zapp's Potato Chips. They mailed me a box of Zapp's
Go
Potato
ahead.
Chips,
How
the
cool
small
is
chips.
that?
And so when they walked into their dressing room, they had all assorted flavors of Zapp's
Wow.
Potato
Hey,
Chips.
Zapp's.
And that
Right.
We like y'all.
that is how
What?
you take care of people.
That is.
When you learn what they love,
Right.
when you learn what they like, and you infiltrate it into service for
Right.
others.
Right.
That.
Perfect.
And it ain't about, I spent this amount of money on a steak, or I spent this amount of money
Yes.
on a bottle of wine. It's about the ability to taste something and say, thank you.
Right.
That was crazy good.
Right.
Boom. Mission
We love
accomplished.
Zaps.
Yes, we do.
We do love Zaps.
Yes, we do.
I like the grease bubbles.
Might even want to try to get some of these Zapp's guys on here that made the company, founded the company.
Yeah, explain us
cool
how
is
you get
Yeah.
other potato chips can't get grease bubbles.
Right. So you know what I've been eating lately? I'm putting a
Peanut
plug
oil.
in. Peanut oil.
Really?
That's a secret.
They cook. I don't know if it's a secret, but they cook their chips in peanut oil versus canola or vegetable.
What about coconut oil? Do you know how good that would be?
Wow.
I totally copyright that too. That's my idea.
Right,
Boy,
right,
though,
right.
what?
Don't forget that. Mark it down. Mark it down.
Coconut oil potato chips. It just got
But the
real.
thing is, too, and I don't know that much about coconut oil per se cooking with it, but it's all about smoke point, if that makes any sense to you. So smoke point is you can't cook a steak with a high smoke point if you want a good sear. Let's say scallops, for example. If we've all seen Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen, he talks about the scallops. Gotta get the scallops right. So you use an oil that has a high smoke point. Okay.
What's the smoke point?
Smoke point being when the oil starts to burn. Okay. No,
Okay.
it's not the sear. What I'm talking about is when you see smoke starting to come from your oil, that's your smoke point. So what temperature that is that makes the food start to smoke is your smoke point. Extra virgin olive oil has a very high smoke point. It doesn't take long for it to start smoking. Things like vegetable oil have a lower smoke point. It takes
a
longer
minute.
to get to its smart smoking. So when you're doing like scallops, for example, and that sear that you're looking for using vegetable oil because it takes longer for it to start smoking. And then once you add that scallop to that cast iron, that's what gives it that nice, pretty bronze color. Okay,
Right.
so that's it right there.
Interesting.
It's about your meadow and it's about your oil.
Right.
Now that we're all starving over here.
I know, right? Wow. I'm glad the microphone's pointing up because my stomach's growling right now. But is there a correlation between smoke point and how healthy the oil is? Or not really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we deep fat fry everything
I know,
in the
right?
book.
Don't even mention healthy.
Anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't even mention that.
Throw your
Right.
finger in there and it's going to taste
Right.
good after it's done. I'm almost certain. You may not
Yes.
be a cannibal before,
I'm
but
not.
you will be
I'm
after.
going to tell you a story that was told to me by a chef who's a good and close personal friend. And this was done in a place, in an establishment in Lafayette, which I will not say. But there was a waiter or waitress that they did not like, and they took a paper napkin. They battered the paper napkin. They dropped it in the fryer.
It was good,
Now
I
they
bet.
seasoned the batter and everything that you do with the protein or the vegetable. That person, they said, ate that napkin the entire one and had no idea they were eating a paper napkin. True story,
Get
not
outta
made
here.
up. It exists.
So that makes a theory the secret's in the sauce.
Secret
accurate.
is in the sauce and the
Wow,
seasoning.
That's amazing. I love it.
So now we got to talk about something that my mom has been. Not my mom, sorry. Unknown person has been discussing.
Oh, okay. Mute that, Tim.
So, okay, so the Q is the Q. The Q.
Okay. So,
I'm curious.
Yes.
Since
And
we're all
that's
starving, now
curious,
let's take it down.
Curious with a C, not with a Q.
We're starving for knowledge now,
I'm so
right?
Yes,
hungry.
right.
Yeah, I
Right,
know,
yeah.
right?
So what's Q, right?
What is Q? What is
yes.
the big Q? The
Okay.
big question.
So
Yes.
it goes, right, there
Yeah,
you
Right
the
here,
go.
Q.
Tim.
The
Right here, Tim.
question.
Right here, Tim.
Poor Tim. The Q.
Q.
The question.
The O with the little squiggly
We
part.
need an A for the Q. An
Yes,
answer
right.
for the question.
Yes, thank you. Right.
That's so genius. It just
I love
comes
it.
like
Yes,
that.
the Q.
I think of the alpha that you're
Ooh.
talking about, we already have,
I already have
is
it.
already around.
Already.
And you know, whether you, what you look at in politics per se, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, I think in the end doesn't matter. You know,
that's right.
if we go back to Area 51, then we can connect to the whole aspect of the New World Order, that there were people that were controlling this aspect. And if those people were controlling the aspect, who's to say they weren't controlling the politics of the whole entire situation?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
World.
We know of, if we can think of any real assassination that has ever taken place in American politics, we can think of one person. Being said, though, there were other assassination attempts. There
Right.
were other
Does
assassinations
Datha want to
that
guess who that
happened.
was? Can you Datha guess who that
Well,
was?
it's JFK.
There you go.
And his brother, Robert,
There
Right.
you go. That's right.
Attorney General at the
Who
who
time.
got shot by
Smart
5
running.
bullets, but ended up being a 4 caliber gun, I think.
From what they
4
said,
bullet
the
gun.
guy they said his name was Sirhan.
Yeah.
In a hotel in Los Angeles
Right.
as he was politicking.
Right.
JFK, you know, my mama, I go back to my mama.
Your mama.
My mama taught me a lot of good things, along with my dad, but my mama taught me how to speak.
Good mama.
And I had a stuttering problem as a child. And she made me and my brothers do social studies and science fair projects. And one of our projects was about JFK. And I got somehow, for some reason, I was very passionate about it. I really connected to something with this as a kid. Years later, I got to go to Washington and see the Eternal Flame. And it's very interesting because it's an eternal flame, which means that light can still shine in the darkness. That no matter how dark it gets, that light will still stay there
Forever.
forever, eternal.
Right.
Where do they get the gas for that?
Why this guy? Why this guy? Why this president being
Well, yeah, because there was other presidents assassinated. Lincoln.
Correct.
Right.
which
right.
was a big one too.
right.
right.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
But
Nope, you know your
to
history.
put something and bury him in Arlington Cemetery, along with the other soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who have served this country so humbly. And today is the feast day of St. Michael. And so thank you for your service and what you do. All those who are firefighters,
Right,
policemen, EMTs out
Yeah,
there,
thanks.
thank you for what you do.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah.
Police
Well,
officer.
yeah, I understand.
Right.
But the light doesn't go away in the dark. And so there's something that Kennedy knew, that wanted to be blanked out
Right.
and did it in such a public way on November 22nd in broad daylight for the whole world to see. Okay?
Wow.
And then you put a flame there to almost say, yeah, you got him, but you didn't get the idea. And the
So-
idea of what he stood for,
Right.
Right.
that I'm pretty sure transcended generations.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, ideas are bulletproof.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know, you have his son and then the wife and daughter that was left.
Right.
Okay? The son in the 80s was considered one of the most eligible bachelors in America.
He was good
Yes,
looking.
yes, he was.
Well,
He
Yeah. good
he
looking.
was
Yep.
looked at
Really.
as America's little prince because America knew him since he was a kid.
Right.
Before Twitter, before Instagram, before Facebook, it was photographs in People magazine of JFK Jr., of Little
Right.
John working out, or Little John dating Daryl Hannah, or Little John doing this, or Little John doing that. People wanted to know what he was what the royal family was
Right.
to us.
Right.
His dad was gone. His dad was going away. And then his dad's public assassination made so much of the story with it.
Almost made him a legacy.
Right.
Well, he was a legacy.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Instantly.
Yep. True
Okay.
sense of the word, right?
So the media starts following him. Okay. While Mama, Jackie O, she became Jackie O because she married Jackie Onassis. Excuse me. She became Jackie Onassis. She married Aristotle Onassis, who at the time was the most richest person in the world.
Cha-ching.
He was a
right.
Greek, I want to say shipping and export person who that's how he got his money.
Wow.
So she instantly become husband and wife. She needed protection. You got that kind of money, you can build your own army.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
True.
Get you a nice green Lambo too.
That's right.
But not,
Indeed.
amen.
Not a little one either. One you can actually fit in.
right. right.
With that kind of protection, with that kind of safety, you can buy knowledge.
Right. It's true.
That's another thing
You
too,
can
right?
find out who really took down your husband. I was once told that 50 years after JFK Jr.'s death, that there's papers that Jackie O. Onassis Kennedy had that was going to be released.
Gonna be.
That is supposed to be released. Okay,
So it's still gonna be released.
still going to be released.
Ooh.
That of
right,
what she
right.
knows about the assassination and the people who were affiliated with this. That's why she did 50 years after her son's death would be long dead. That there was
Right.
no way
Right. It was
repercussions
safer to do
could
it.
take
Yeah.
take place.
Wow.
Okay. Well, what if we can speed up the timeline that we don't have to wait that long?
Where's this information sitting right now, I wonder? Or where's it parked?
This is what I get to.
Space.
The
final
final
frontier.
frontier. These are the voyages of Star Trek Enterprise.
Dathan, you're always one step ahead.
I
Wow.
had to do it.
Golly.
But
I love it.
and you know, in that aspect of Gene Roddenberry, there's talk that he knew people in the SSP. And when I say not SSP, SSA, Secret Space Alliance.
That's right.
Okay, or SSP, Secret
Not to be
Space
confused
Program.
with Social Security Administration.
No,
Right.
or the Secret Space Program.
Right.
And you're
Right.
probably like, what are you talking about, Alex? So if you follow Corey Good, Dave Wilcox, and you investigate them and you watch their stuff that they've put together, there's enough evidence to prove that what we learned from Area 51, the reverse engineering technology that's not of this earth, that we can utilize it in space, and that it was already being done by the 1960s and 70s.
So SpaceX has been done since forever.
They
and a
were
day.
taking from what they're saying, they were already taking U.S. Navy submarines re-engineering them and making submarines in space and
Wow.
having
That's
submarines
amazing.
that were made on Earth go into space.
That's
The
incredible.
more
Okay,
you know.
in that,
I know, right,
dun, dun,
right,
dun,
right.
and the aspect of the
Right.
60s and 70s.
That's crazy.
That was going on then. Now, yes, I'm just telling you from what I've read, from what I've seen, but the dots can connect themselves. They completely can. If you're doing the SR-71 testing of the Blackbird, which was an aircraft
Way
that was
back when.
way back when, but this was being tested in the late 60s, but it didn't come out to about the late 70s, early 80s.
Wow.
They're being used.
Golly, it's
And if
amazing.
that technology was being done
Then-
of being declassified / classified, what's to say of the stuff that we never have any idea that has come out?
Yes.
Well,
right,
especially
right.
now with the way things are. I
Right.
mean, good grief. Your iPhone's got a camera on it that takes pictures constantly. Did you know this?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't have an iPhone.
Woo!
Right.
I don't have an iPhone.
Right.
They can take pictures of me, but I can tell you my life is extremely boring.
Amen, sister.
That's right.
Keep
You
it that
go.
way.
Alexa
You
too,
tell it.
until she starts singing Tupac, and then it gets a little interesting.
Right. We keep your life boring for that,
I
for
know,
that
right?
aspect.
She's breaking
Right.
down her rap music. I'm going, what is she doing? She's
So
like, he's
Q.
here.
Let's get back
Right.
to Q.
Yeah,
Q.
Q.
We
We
Yes,
got off the
Q.
subject
We
real
need
quick.
to get a picture of that, what you were talking about, too.
So if y'all want to understand what Q is all about, I would honestly say look for on the computer an aerial picture of what JFK and Robert F. Kennedy, what their grave site looks like
Wow.
in Arlington.
Amazing.
Wait, we need to get him to
Okay.
pull it up.
Yes.
So if that was done then, okay,
Imagine.
we know
Yeah.
for the fact that Bill Clinton wanted to be the next JFK. Mm-hmm. Okay, he met JFK when he was young. Mm-hmm. Okay, he saw the inspiration that JFK brought to the people of America, and he wanted to be that.
He certainly didn't have the looks, poor thing.
True,
It's
true.
all right, you
Especially the
know.
older he got, for sure.
Slick Willie tried to do his best. I tried my best.
Yeah, but he could talk a smooth.
He could talk smooth talk. He could.
Yes, he
He
could.
could.
A lot of
use
people
that
can talk
accent and
smooth.
just try to say it's all right. I feel your pain.
Right, right. I
But-
did not have sex with that woman.
Right.
Come on.
Okay. Right.
Depending on what the word is, what the meaning of the word is.
And the point
And
was
not.
that
Right, right.
where did this guy come from? Where did this guy in Arkansas actually rise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We know for a fact that Pablo Escobar was moving cocaine
Oh,
from
yeah.
Colombia,
Now we're getting personal now.
coming into Louisiana.
It wasn't powdered sugar, people.
Coming into
Right.
Arkansas and landing in Arkansas. They made the movie with Tom Cruise called
Yeah.
American Made by
Yeah.
the story of Barry Seal from Baton Rouge,
Barry Seal,
who was
yeah.
the pilot
Yep.
who worked for the CIA. So he was working for both sides while trafficking cocaine, making cocaine one of the most hardest drugs in America at the time in the late 70s, early 80s. There people who were moving it, the infrastructure of that, definitely wasn't anything that was above this government. It was definitely below, or we would like to call in our world the deep stank.
Right.
And so the money that was
Not to
coming
be confused
in,
with deep fried.
right? That's right. That's right. The money that was coming in from the deep stank was coming in from people other than the people of notable society that had money.
Right.
We're talking about like the mafia. We're talking about things like that. That aspect of control. Okay.
Right.
Under the table. That people we know now that can talk about and say that, yeah, the Kennedy assassination, we've all heard it, had a connection with CIA and the mafia. CIA had the programming, mafia had the funding, put the peoples into program to make the things happen.
Right.
Okay, you got your patsy with Oswald, then you have your real person who took down what needed to get taken down
Right.
because of the fear that JFK, the president, had information of secret societies, and that he was ready to unleash that into the public of what we now know and today as mainstream media at the time. There was only a couple things. There was a man named Walter Cronkite, and there were only a few people who really controlled the narrative of what the media was coming out. In America, everybody trusted Walter Cronkite.
Yep.
He was the one who when the Kennedy assassination happened, he was the one who was talking about it. You can go back online. He's the one who said the president's. He's the one that America saw. He was America's dad.
You're
Okay,
right.
he brought the news every night to America. So if you have a president that is ready to unload all the secrets that have taken place to make it a ground that everybody could walk on the same level, okay? That there's no difference of playing field for anybody because we're all on the same level. That scares the crap out of people.
Well, yeah,
That
it
scares
does.
the crap out of people who have the money. That scares the crap out of people who want the money.
Right.
That scares the greed. That scares the evilness that this world has. Because anything that is held secret will be brought to light in some way, shape,
Yeah,
or
it's a
form.
fact.
At
It's
some
it's
point,
given.
yes, it will.
It happens in
given.
our lives, does it not?
Right.
Always, without
That's
fail.
true.
It does. I heard that JFK had something to do with the space organization, or he wanted.
He knew about aliens. I
He was
think.
right. He was
Extra
trying.
He's the
Terrestrial.
one.
Right,
He's
right.
the one that said we will land a man on the moon in this decade before this decade is out.
Yes.
He was the
Yep.
one that called it. He was the one that built NASA.
Right.
He was the one that
There we
put
go.
this
That's right.
stuff together that we classified know about.
He's the one that knew entirely too much.
And he wanted everyone else to know it too.
He
because,
did, and that was a
you know,
problem.
his
Right.
his
The
call
masses.
sign was one of the names of the story of Camelot. He believed in Camelot. And if you don't know what Camelot is the land in which King Arthur lived in.
Watch
okay?
First Night.
And sure. And the fact is that all the people who sat with Camelot, who sat with King Arthur,
The Round Table.
sat around a round table.
Yep.
And a round table
Right.
equals the fact that we're all on the same level.
Exactly.
Not one
Boom.
person is better than the other. Not one person knows more than the other. Not
Exactly.
one person has more money than the other.
Everybody's
We're
equal.
all equal, and
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
here to
That's
bring
good.
and we're all here to
That's
bring
good.
knowledge and love to the table.
Right.
Right. So with a great concept like that, I can see why people would want to destroy something like that. You know.
Not destroy it. They don't want to. Yeah, I guess destroy it, but
Right. Or destroy the concept of
The whole
destroy
thing is
it,
just
it
messed up.
proliferating into the average person.
But the
or whatever.
whole
Yeah.
aspect of killing somebody in broad daylight
To
on
keep
such
secrets.
an international figure to show that, hey, we can do this
Yeah.
it's
Nope.
wrong.
and we
Yeah.
can do it to
it's
you
a,
too.
It's a power trip. They want people to know they have it,
Yeah.
and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
That's,
It's
Nobody's
wrong.
safe.
that's
Right.
all it was just to change the status quo. That we know what's going on. We're in charge. You think you're in charge. You're really not.
They need to
And
read
to
the
put the
Bible.
fear factor. But if you read the Bible, and it's funny because I have a certain quote that I, especially right now as the world is awakening.
Yeah, you're right too.
Because
Things
we
are
really
happening.
we really
Yes, they
are
are.
awakening. We're learning about a guy who's named Jeffrey Epstein, who molested and hurt children along with other people in his group all around the world. Okay, I'm waiting for this thing to come up.
Who knew secrets?
Who knew secrets?
Big
Yes.
ones.
And
It is.
and who
It
was
really is.
friends with, we know, Prince Andrew.
Right.
This is not even, I don't have to speculate this. There are pictures of Epstein and Prince Andrew walking around, okay? And if that is out there, what else is out there?
Well, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean,
right.
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, it is. Right.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get my, I guess there's no Wi-Fi in here. Let me
We
turn
got
it-
Wi-Fi, but it's a long password on
Okay,
there.
well, I'm not worried about that. I just
Yeah,
need
you
a-
got to give
Yeah.
your firstborn and your soul to get it.
It's
Right.
it's in Corinthians. It's 14:1 Corinthians, and I'm waiting for it to come up.
Yeah, we got time.
Well,
Go
that's
for
why
it.
you need a real book.
I've got a Bible around here somewhere, but yeah. So keep on waiting for it. So I was going to say with the Epstein thing, yeah, Dave will pull that for you.
I
too,
got
real
it.
quick.
I got
Okay,
the app.
okay.
I have to do this
Um,
for church because I like to know.
Yeah, definitely. How
Let's
much?
see. Corinthians, you said?
Right. Corinthians 14:1.
Corinthians.
And what I want
1, chapter 1, 14:1, you said? Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the New Testament. That's the new language.
The new.
Oh, I don't want the new
international-
language.
Oh, no new language.
Oh no! You
Which
need
one?
Oh, I
to
don't have
see
the old one.
the old. So what? I'm just gonna.
Which one? King James? Which version do you
it-
want?
the-
Well, this is King James. It's just
So
more
let me
delayed.
just get to what it talks about. It says the fact that those that are dead right now, clothed in the Lord, okay, who were sleeping, will be awoken. Okay, and those who are already here,
Is that the trumpets?
and those that are already here, will have life everlasting.
Mm-hmm.
So if the dead, as we call dead, become awake clothed with the knowledge that we have now. You talk about zombies. You were talking about zombies, and I bring this up because, again, it's a media talking about be afraid of the dead people.
Right.
Be afraid of the aliens. Be afraid of this. Be afraid of that. I'm gonna make movies. I'm gonna make you afraid. Okay. But what if the real storyline is that we should not be afraid? The aspect of those who are coming to come back, for all of us together to go through such a spiritual experience that people are saying could possibly happen within our lifetime.
Right.
And that's called the Great Awakening. People like
Yes,
Laura
yes.
Eisenhower are talking about it. People like Corey Goode, people like David Wilcox. These people who talk about the SSP or the SSA are the same ones that are saying, get ready, because the end, quote unquote, is not the end. It's the new beginning.
Right.
Correct.
Which it
Like-
is. It's in the Bible in Revelations. It states that there's a new beginning after all evil's taken out.
Right. And like you were saying, Independence Day was a movie that you like. Independence Day actually was a movie that kind of brought these things to the forefront and reminded people.
Well, the Area 51
About-
part, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
It all went back to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that movie a long time ago in the 80s. That kind of brought things to the forefront about aliens and making contact and stuff like that.
And learning how to make mountains out of mashed potatoes.
All right.
That's the best ones,
And the
right?
government is so scared of us knowing things
and
like
it's so
quickly.
It's ridiculous because in truth, if we knew things, we could probably help.
Yes, there's so
Or
much
what
stuff.
is it
yes.
that, why do you have to hide all these things?
Right.
Why?
One of
What's
the things,
purpose?
well, there's many things. I'll
Besides,
say,
you know more
I'll
than
say
me.
one thing. One thing has to do with the medical stuff and like healing and stuff like that. Did you know?
Oh, the cure for cancer,
Yes,
which is there.
Did you know outer space? There's so many experiments that have been done in outer space that show that we can cure diabetes, cancer, all kind of things in outer space where there's no
Population
gravity,
control.
where there's no gravity, where there's a vacuum, and the cure to diabetes is already available. It takes to go to outer space to do it.
It also
But
shaves 50 years off your life.
Yes.
The plastic
They're
surgeon should
keeping
get
us.
into
They're
that.
keeping us from going in outer space and everything. You were talking about earlier about
But they're
about
about
Mars.
to start SpaceX.
Right.
That's going to Mars, ain't it?
SpaceX has already started.
That's
They're-
Elon Musk, of
what,
course.
Right. What we got coming up soon and is going to be utilizing space hospitality.
Oh, yeah, the hotel and all that kind
Correct.
of stuff up there. I heard about that.
Correct.
Right.
If
Like-
we had the Titanic to cross oceans, then we are going to have something that allows you to go into space and
Oh,
just relax
I think
and
they
spend
should send them
what,
all to a black
millions?
hole. See what happens
Right.
when you get on the other side. Instead of speculating that it's the end of the world,
Well,
we
yeah,
might be in a black hole right now, Dave.
We might be. We might be. But the thing is, why are we going? Why are we going? Why are we going to space for entertainment and pleasure? Why don't we go for experiments
Research?
that can help
Well,
humanity?
I'm going to tell you right now, if it shaves 50 years off my life,
Well,
book
yeah,
me
well-
in that hotel.
Well, you're doing good so far. I don't know how old you are now, but you're doing good so far.
Thanks.
Dave, you and I were talking recently about a story that Corey Goode talks about, that when he got recruited into the Secret Space Alliance or Secret Space Program, he was in this program called the 20 and Back. Okay?
20 and back.
20 and Back. What it was that he spent 20 years working with the Alliance on planets like Mars, going to the moon, going inside the Earth, doing
Yes.
missions of what he needed
And
to do.
he did say inside the Earth, and that's correct.
Okay. And
Jules Verne.
once he did
Yep,
his 20
right.
years, he was physically and also time travel brought back to when it first started, so that he had no real recollection of what happened. They scrubbed the brain
Yes.
and they put you back where you were
They do that for
when
people
they
with Area
start
51.
when they started the first project,
Yeah,
when they
Men in Black.
started when he first started.
Yes.
So
That's
and,
right.
and that's just one person saying that.
Yeah, it's mind
and there's
control.
other people talking
Other people
about
say
it.
it too.
Yeah.
They had a guy that worked at
Right.
Area 51 that said he was constantly brainwashed, that they would wipe his memory so he wouldn't know what he was working on the next day. How
Right.
are you going to keep your job going right if you're going to keep forgetting everything you're doing?
Or having a family,
Right?
right?
Another thing.
Because
Right.
so you know these people who work at Area 51, they have a 737 that flies from Las Vegas every day. That picks them up and drops them off and picks them up. They
Wow.
don't drive to work and hey, honey, how's the traffic going to Area 51 today? How are we looking?
Right.
No, they fly to
I've
Las.
got to get that in my
they,
life.
They, right? They fly. They drive to Las Vegas airport, take an aircraft, a 737, fly it into Groom Lake, which is what we call Area 51. That area is called Groom Lake. Go do their job, get back on the aircraft, fly back to Vegas.
Interesting.
What
Go
about
home.
the Underground Railroads?
Yes, thank you.
We had that on another show.
Right,
Yes, we did.
and,
Yes,
and,
we
and I
did.
understand that, but we have no proof of that. We do have proof of the 737 taking off and landing, dropping, and picking up.
We've got anecdotal evidence and proof of stories out there, but I have seen the actual photographs. The underground tunnel system was started like in the 1913s, something before World War I or whatever.
Right.
It had the big diamond bits and everything are drilling through. It's been going on for years and years and years. So let me talk about the thing that I talked to you about a while back. Okay, so I picked up a patient on the ambulance a while back in Denham Springs. He was
Yeah.
having a heart attack. He's about 42 years old. Saying he thought he was having a heart attack. He was under a lot of stress.
He was having gas.
Right. Yeah, he was having. I think he was having like just stress pains for
Yeah,
stress
yeah,
because the
yeah.
guy was stressed
It
out.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes, the guy lived in a huge house.
How can you be stressed out in a big
I'm
house?
talking about a
He
five-
must have been OCD.
Well, I'm talking about a 5-bedroom, beautiful house. The guy's 42 years old. I had to ask him, "What do you do for a living?" I've just got to ask. You got a
Well,
beautiful
yeah.
home, beautiful cars, whatever, beautiful wife.
That's a logical question.
Yes. So guess what he said? I'm retired now. I was a government contractor working for the government overseas, many years in the computer department, information systems, and he says he had nothing to lose. He says I've got some stories I could tell you. You wouldn't believe. I said, try me. I said I would probably believe everything you told me. He says, did you know there was an underground tunnel system that stretches across not only the United States but the world? And I says, well, I have read about that. I never knew it was true. He says, I've been on that underground tunnel system. He
Tell
told
him
me
where the
that.
hubs are.
He said the hubs are Las Vegas, Houston, all the big cities, Colorado,
Denver.
Colorado,
And
was
where-
The
another
Denver
one.
airport.
By the airport.
Have you
Yes, by the
seen
airport.
pictures of the Denver airport?
Yes, I have. I've been
Oh.
there, and I've seen
Oh.
I've seen apocalyptic scenes on the wall and
He
everything.
said
I've seen 'em.
Walmart's too.
Right. So we're gonna
It's
get
like
that in a second.
Stranger Things.
We'll get that in a second. So.
Bum, bum, bum.
So he told me the one that he went down was 6 levels down, and I had no reason to believe he was lying. The guy's having a heart attack for crying out loud. So he said he went down 6. He said everything is severely compartmentalized. Nobody
Right.
knows what everybody's doing, like you were saying
Right.
earlier. The first
Right.
floor didn't know what the second floor is
Right.
doing. He goes like, all I can tell you is I went to the 6th floor. I don't know what the other people are doing.
Right.
I had a job to do, and I got out of there. He says I've been on the magnetron. He says I've been on the system. I've seen it. I'm going like I've heard about this, but are you freaking serious? He says yes, it is serious. And so and he says, check this out. This is really cool. He says I've been overseas working in all the different areas in the desert everywhere. He says I've seen Air Force One land in the desert, and this big ramp come up. Air Force One go on the ramp, and it goes down, and it disappears. And I'm going, what in the world?
Epic.
Why should we not believe that after all the stuff we talked about and all
Right.
the capabilities?
Right. And,
So-
and almost that same aspect, if these people are experiencing that, and what we experience in the military of classified, what's classified in real time, okay?
Right.
My aircraft carrier was one place while they're on board. Fox News was on board and saying we were somewhere else. We're
Right.
somewhere completely
Right.
different.
Right.
I mean, a distance of between California and
Jeez.
Washington, D.C. difference. That's how much of a difference we were.
Wow, right.
Just because we knew that the bad guys were watching Fox News to know what the next hit was going to
Yes,
be.
right,
Right.
Okay?
Remember the infamous thing with Geraldo Rivera when that idiot took a stick in the sand? He says, well, we're right here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're going to do this, you idiot.
Yes. Right.
Well, he is Geraldo.
Right. I know.
Yeah,
right.
Geraldo.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been the one. Remember, he had a talk show whenever the big fight broke out and they hit him with a chair and broke his nose?
Before,
Did you hear?
it's funny.
Springer.
Before Marty, you are not the father. Before Jerry Springer, Jerry,
Right, Jerry, right.
there was Geraldo bringing the
there
Ku
was.
Klux Klan together.
Yes, there was.
Oh,
Right.
Geraldo.
Yes, there was. Right. Yep.
So what about Antarctica?
Yes.
What about Antarctica?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they say that is one of the places that we have a base. Whether we have the base or people that we have never seen before, we'll just call them humanoids, have a base.
Yes.
But that something has been there for a very long time. That there are Mayan-style ruins
that. They're starting to show.
that are
Yes. Go to Google Earth and you can see some
go
stuff on there.
between New Zealand and Antarctica that have a bridge. That they have seen things in Antarctica underneath the ice that are like a Mayan-style ruins. But we as civilians have no information about this, have no knowledge about this. The Navy has bases along with other countries in Antarctica. People who have been part of certain special forces operations have come out and talked about what they experienced and what they saw flying over certain spots over Antarctica
That's a
that
great
actually
place.
looked like huge openings where something could fly in and fly out.
Well, it's
Yes,
genius.
right,
Who's
yes.
going to go examine an ice cold piece of land?
You can't. I mean, who can make it there first of all to do it? You know,
I'm
right.
not made for snow.
If you remember, and if I get my story right, if I'm wrong, guys, you guys tell me.
Yeah, put it on the comments below. Yes.
It was a Navy admiral who
Flew down into it,
who
right.
who brought ships into and discovered Antarctica or the South Pole, and they had research and things going on there. That's where you start your story from. And again, this goes back again to the Navy. It was an admiral in the United States Navy
Right.
that went first to Antarctica. It's the Navy that somehow is connected in with the SSP, SSA. They're saying that the Navy is the alliance,
Right.
is the people connected to Q,
Right.
okay, that have information with Q, that are connected to Q. Other different branches do different other things, but it's the Navy's aspect that's going to be bringing real disclosure. If you remember, it was the Navy that recently released those videos of, as they say, aerial phenomenon. They don't say UFOs anymore because everybody knows UFO
you see that on
equals
Fox
one
News?
thing.
I don't have TV.
It's
That's right,
It's
yeah.
unidentified aerial phenomenon. UAP.
Oh,
Yes.
good
That's
grief.
that's
Really?
That's the new terminology now. It's
Complicate
UAP.
things.
This is on
Anything-
Fox News recently.
And these jets followed
They showed the video
this
too.
the UAPs, and they're commenting like the pilots are commenting, "Oh wow, that just went this way. That just turned a direct 90-degree." And the Navy, this was released a couple years ago. The Navy just released and said, "Yes, this is real UAP footage
Yes.
that we caught," as opposed to saying, "This is a whack job. This is stupid. Doesn't make any sense. No, this is not real. We didn't put it out there." The Navy actually did come out and say, "Yes, this is real UAP footage that we caught." Being said, my personal story is that when I was on board the Truman, I was very good friends with the assistant intel officer, and you know, when you cook good food and you build a trust and rapport with people, and he and I were sitting and talking one night, and just like we're talking right now, he said, "Yeah, UFOs are real,"
Well, yeah.
and that's all he said.
They had them in the Bible and everything
right,
else.
but to come out and have an officer,
Yeah.
an intel officer, to tell me that UFOs are real, like you and I would
Wow.
be talking about how to build a ham sandwich, as opposed to there being speculation. It was like, hey, UFOs are real.
You'd have to be crazy.
Now,
not to
look,
think
we
that,
have the
though.
aspect of,
Yes.
yes, unidentified flying objects are real. Yes, I get that.
Yeah,
But,
little drone mosquitoes.
but we also know what he was saying.
Right.
Okay?
Right. On a
But
bigger
you'd have
scale.
to be crazy to not think that there's not stuff out there.
Right,
The universe
right.
is entirely too big.
We
Yeah, but-
think that now, 2003, early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s.
Unless you watch X-Files.
But still, even if you watch that, you were thought of as being like, you're loony, you're crazy if you believe that stuff is real.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
in old artifacts of art. Like you said,
Yeah.
some of the Egyptians had it
Yes.
on their artifacts. I mean,
Yes, they
you
did.
can look at paintings back in the day before, who was it, Da Vinci that painted, that have little saucers flying
Yes, they
in the
do. Right.
background.
Yeah, little helicopter
Even the
type
Bible
things, right.
makes note of
There's
stuff
there's
coming
a
out the
picture of like a
sky.
light bulb with filaments in it,
I
connected
mean,
to a
it's
battery.
been there since the dawn of time.
So we talk
Yes.
about, you talk about Da Vinci, and you bring that up, and people say that Da Vinci was part of what they call the Lumadonkey back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
That he was on the foundations of
Was
it.
he really?
I don't know. But the point is this. I have seen this, and this is really going to flip your lid. People have taken the image of like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, and they split it down the middle and then put it back together. Look that up right now on your phone. It will
Interesting.
flip you
Look
out.
it up. Look it up.
Okay,
baby. Wow.
where's Timmy at? We got to
Wow.
Look up
Yeah.
the Leonardo da Vinci split in half picture, and when they mirror it
Wow.
together, it looks like a gray.
That is amazing.
It looks like a gray.
Wow.
Okay. If you put the Last Supper and do the same thing where it splits right in the middle, where Jesus and Mary Magdalene
And you
are,
reverse the half image. is
and
what
you
you're saying?
reverse the half image, you flip it. Okay. It looks like different things going on in the middle. It is a whole nother picture within its own self.
Wow. That's
This
amazing.
guy, I mean, was able to construct helicopters and things are flying back then. Okay,
right.
some people feel he had knowledge of things. Okay,
Yeah.
one of the earliest people, and he utilized this art to show it without saying it. You know, we were talking about National Treasure, and there's one thing they talk about National Treasure is that all the
Right.
secrets are in plain view.
Yeah.
Which is the truth.
They are.
Yes,
Which
it
is
is,
the
right.
absolute truth. And if you know how to look for those secrets, that is what's going to answer your question.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
The
right.
truth is right there in front
Yeah,
of
the
you.
best way to hide something is in plain view. You're right.
Is anything coming up?
That's amazing.
It's just showing Mona Lisa.
Hey, Timmy, are
pictures.
those cameras working? Yeah, we apologize, everybody. We're dismantling our studio to make some expansion, so our TV is not working right now. Huh?
The Wi-Fi cut out while doing the show.
That's cool. Just change cameras.
An hour into our show, the Wi-Fi cut out, and just on my iPad.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I
So,
got you.
so we lost Wi-Fi?
Just on my iPad, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
so
still
we're
recording.
still-
We lost,
Still recording.
but part of this lost some Wi-Fi. So
I know that.
Are we,
I
are we
know.
still?
You've got to be joking.
Oh,
Are we
my
still?
gosh.
Are we,
Got it.
are we
We're
still
recording
connected?
on the iPad.
Smart, I'm recording a backup
Oh,
copy.
shut up! Shut.
Tim, does this camera work right here?
They can't hear us anyway.
Does this
No,
camera
it's
work?
off. It's completely off. They shut us off.
How long has
No,
it been
dude.
off?
Just on my iPad.
Why is this camera not working right here?
So we're not recording at all.
On Facebook Live, it's dead now.
This camera right here is on right now. You got to tell me
No,
that.
they're on still, but
Okay,
they're
time
not
out.
working.
So we're not recording.
We are recording.
We're recording
Okay.
on the iPad, but we're not live right
Okay,
now.
so
We're not-
people,
The show's still going on.
we're not going to tell
Right.
you what our secret is,
Wow.
but we got.
But are you switching
Fun
this camera?
stuff.
This camera here's been on.
I
Yes.
can't. The Wi-Fi is off. I can't. It's
Oh.
on Wi-Fi.
He's
so-
just
so
recording
our,
on iPad.
Right, we're not live
Oh,
anymore.
I see. Right.
We're not
How
live
long
anymore.
has it been since we cut off? We need to know the moment.
Like 15, 10 minutes, maybe.
What, we're
Because
talking about Q?
these cameras
Yeah.
these cameras work on my local router network
Right.
right here.
Right.
It's weird, though. They cut me off just on the iPad. All the other Wi-Fi works. And the iPad is
Dude,
what I
you've got to
need
be
actually
joking.
do
This is
the
freaking
show.
ridiculous.
That's
So
hilarious.
our camera is stuck on me and Datha right now.
No, I just shut it off because Facebook Live is off. So I just
So we're off now.
yeah, we're
So
on.
but you can hear our audio?
Yeah, no, you can't hear the audio on Facebook Live. I'm recording a backup copy.
But I know, but the video is recording.
That is crazy.
The,
I'm recording it on the iPad.
So in other words, we're recording on the
Right.
iPad backup, but we're not on Facebook Live.
Right.
We can put it on YouTube,
right. But so I'm saying,
but it's just gonna be voice. It won't be picture.
but this camera right here is on though. I thought.
It's not on.
Oh my lord, you got to be joking. Maybe we should just shut this thing down and redo another show. But
No, this is epic.
Let's keep it going. Yeah, let's keep it going.
I gotta tell Tim we're gonna.
Yeah, just tell him a few more.
Hey,
minutes.
let me ask you a question. Hey, Timmy.
Wow.
Timmy.
Come on.
Timmy, let me ask you a question, Timmy.
Wow.
Is it
You can't see me, so
okay? That's fine. Is it possible that I could take a bathroom break?
Yeah, sure.
Real
yeah.
quick.
Dathan
Go right
and I-
ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
go
gonna be
ahead.
right back, ladies
ahead.
and gentlemen.
Go ahead. Dathan and I will carry while
Okay.
you gone.
Is there a hall pass? Because this was like a school.
Yeah. Right. Straight out here to the right. First door on the right. Or second door on the right.
Okay, so I am psyched.
Yeah. You got to be joking.
This is
ridiculous.
hilarious.
I knew this was going to happen. I really did.
Now we're like real radio talk show hosts, though, Dave.
Right, now
you
we-
can't
yes.
see the
Right.
people.
Even
in
though
the
you have
voice.
a face for television. And you got a voice for radio.
This
too.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
All right. Go
We
ahead,
got
Tim. Come on,
totally
Tim.
shut
so
off.
Tim, tell us what happened. Tim's our producer right here.
Okay, hold on.
He got a mouthful of Pringles.
But let me ask you something first, real Tim. I'm trying to get what's
Ask
going
me.
on. So the tally light on this camera's on,
Okay,
but no
so-
cameras are working right now.
No, because it gets stuck on the on position whenever a broadcast stops.
I knew something was up
Okay.
because the
So
same
you
I
have
was
to-
like, what's going on?
I know. Why are they switching cameras? Right.
Yeah. You have to manually turn it off, so I just turned it off.
Okay.
But
but-
we were doing the show, and then I think it was 55 minutes into it, the Wi-Fi on my iPad cut off. It's just
Dave.
on my iPad though, nothing else.
That's hilarious.
Dude, that is really weird.
That
It's
was
weird.
right when
And
we
the
got back
iPad is
to
what
you.
I need to actually continue the broadcast to go live. You need the iPad.
So
Right.
they're gonna shut the app. They can't shut the iPad off.
No, they can't do that. But what's on Facebook now is still locked in there. You can't change that, right? I mean, that's already whatever went out live.
Yeah,
is
whatever went
on.
out live, it's still out there. Unless Facebook
It's
decides
just-
to say something like community strike like they do.
Is it still
Or
on?
you know,
Right.
guidelines or a terms of service
There's no, we
violated.
didn't violate anything.
Yeah, but they'll do that anyway.
He said
though.
those. He said those keywords.
I accidentally said.
Yeah, someone can screen
Right.
record you.
Right. But even
I
though-
remember we was talking about fried
But-
food, and
right,
I thought he said
right.
the salad. And I said, "Well, I'm gonna throw that in there."
But even- but
and I
even-
said, "Oh crap."
but even whenever he did say his the fake words, I still think even those words are
Is that
still
we got to
Triggered,
figure out
yeah.
that's when
Right.
it stopped it.
right.
I don't know, man.
Oh man, you know this
is
just
crazy.
adds fuel to the fury. Now this really makes me believe stuff's going on.
It is true. It's true. So what's going to happen is probably on the Facebook Live, it's just going to cut off whenever they decide to cut us off. It'll just stop,
And you know what you need to
stop
do?
right
You need to
there.
make a comment. Cut off by
Right.
the GOV.
But
Right,
I am recording
right,
a backup
right.
copy of the whole show
Good.
on the audio recorder.
And what I'll do is I'll put I don't have enough space on my phone. But I was gonna say I'll put a thumbnail up for the rest of the show, just so they can show us. We'll take a picture of us talking and put a thumbnail up for
Yeah.
the rest of it. But this is just weird.
I
man.
love it.
I know. It's like, geez. They
We
are
don't
watching.
know. We're gonna have to find out the exact same moment that this happened. But I am so
Yeah.
psyched.
This is
So-
Facebook at work, people.
That's right.
Facebook.
That's right.
So we're
But we
not.
do love
So we're
Facebook.
Facebook Live is gone, and what we're
Live's gone.
what we're recording is just to go back on YouTube, right?
We are like radio.
Right. It'll be audio
Yep.
only, right?
I mean, this is what has happened to so many other people
Wow.
who have been in this position. Congratulations, Dave.
Well,
You've-
I'm proud of it.
You've
That means
stepped
they're
up.
watching though.
Yeah,
Be fine.
yeah.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
No,
I'm
but
proud
you
of what
also
we're
got
doing.
them spying through the camera.
Oh crap! We got cameras all over.
All right, so we do 10 more minutes.
Okay.
10 more minutes.
Man, that's
Because you
funny.
need to get out of here, too.
Yeah, I told him to walk the dog.
So, okay, so how are we going to wrap this up for the next 10 minutes? I mean, what are we going to do? I mean,
Well, we done shut ourselves off. So
right.
how much better can
Right.
it get?
My
Right,
mama,
yes, I know.
Stoked.
my mama always told me I would talk too much. She always said, "You talk too much, Alex.
Right.
You're gonna get yourself in trouble one day."
Yeah.
No, I'm not in trouble, everybody. I promise you. Because this is the thing: is that if I'm speaking out,
Wow.
other people are speaking out. And if other people are speaking out, then other people are listening. Then if other
Exactly.
people are listening,
Yeah.
they're gonna speak out. The dream of John F. Kennedy is not dead.
Nope.
It will continue
That's
on.
right. Yes, we're going to keep it going right here on the Dave K Show.
Just like John Connor said, I will always want to say this: if you can hear my voice,
With Dave
you
Coulier.
are the resistance.
Holla!
Yes, right. Alex Jones, yes.
Cool. That's
right.
a good way to
That's
say
right.
it.
Yes, I
I
love
love
it.
that.
I love it, yes. And that's what we're all about. Hey, look, we're bringing this stuff to South Louisiana, to Louisiana, right here. Because nobody else is doing it in Louisiana.
No,
Nope.
That's right.
no.
What a great idea Dave had, for sure. I mean, this is great. This is really, really
We're-
great.
Well,
We're all
they
blessed
should
to
have
be
Oh, your
here.
come
fault.
bringing stuff to me and start dropping Amazon packages in my yard. I'm coming for you
Well,
too.
don't order.
No,
No, don't order. Look, they're building an Amazon warehouse in Baton Rouge
it
at a Cartown
scares
Mall.
me.
Right.
It scares me.
Yes.
So anyway, all those little tunnels are hubbed at Walmarts, various Walmarts.
Remember
And
when
do you
the-
know who sponsored Walmart, right?
Well, they're based out of Arkansas,
Correct.
Oh.
which is where
Yes.
Clinton's is from.
It
Oh.
was Clinton's. It
Right.
was they're part of the board. She was part of the board of directors for Walmart at one point in the
on.
90s.
Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So
Wow.
she and Bill got a letter, from what I have to understand.
A letter.
What's in this letter?
The letter at George Senior's thing.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Well, I mean, we're already,
We're already there, right?
Okay, so
I mean,
what was that
we
letter all
committed.
about?
We
Look,
don't
look, I've
know.
always wanted to just fuck it.
We
Let's
don't
do
know.
it live.
Yeah,
We-
boom. It's power
we
through
don't
this.
know.
Right?
Power
You know,
through.
but the whole thing is that
It's
y-
on the internet anyway. Everybody
yeah,
knows.
you know, we know that George Bush Sr. was president, vice president, director, CIA,
Look, I don't trust the Bushes any more than I can throw them either.
right? You know,
3 numbers come in mind.
that
9/11.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Oh boy, yeah.
you know, and take it from someone who watched the second plane crash on board my aircraft carrier. We just finished cleaning the berthing area where we slept, and one of my shipmates next to me, he was like, "That was a movie." As we're flipping channels, and watched the second plane crash. And excuse me, let me back up. The first plane had crashed. We're flipping through the channel. We see a building on fire. We keep on going. And, you know, we're in a big group of people, and pretty much whoever has the majority of friends is the one who's controlling the TV.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And they're flipping through the channels. They pass through the building on fire. And I remember saying, guys, go back. They're like, that's a movie. I said, they don't have movies on CNN.
No.
Go back.
Right.
And we went back, and there it was. We were in the shipyards. The Truman had just come back from its main voyage. We were in the shipyards for a rehaul to just kind of clean things up, get ready to go. We had just gotten there. This was on the East Coast time, East Coast side, and we were in Portsmouth, Virginia. And I remember our CO came on after the second plane hit. It was Captain David Logston. And Logston said, "We are at war. Everything is now DEFCON 4.
That's scary.
Yeah. That's the highest level.
We could not use our cell phones. The gates around the base, at the Portsmouth Naval Base, were closed. Nothing was coming in, and nothing was going the fuck
That's
out."
Yes.
scary.
Okay?
That's
Right.
scary.
Right.
I will always remember my middle brother. left a voicemail message on my Nokia phone. You know those
That's
old,
right.
okay,
Hey,
okay.
those things could
Right.
live through anything.
Yes, indestructible like a cockroach.
We thought
Yes.
like a lot of people thought that Truman was going to be going out to Washington D.C.
Ooh.
because we were one of the newest carriers, but the Navy decided no, Truman's staying in the George Washington. Now you have to think about this real quick. The George Washington went to New York. What is the symbolism between George Washington and New York? Come on, somebody tell me. Trivia.
George Washington.
He was born in New York.
No.
No. His mom was from New York.
Maybe. But the answer, I will tell you this. When he was inaugurated President of the United States, he was inaugurated in New York City. There was no Washington, D.C. just yet, per se, as it is now. Okay?
Interesting.
Washington,
Yeah.
D.C. was the capital of America at one point in time when George Washington was inaugurated at the church called Trinity Church. Trinity meaning three,
Right,
okay?
right.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost, okay? I want to talk about the Trinity that we have right now. JFK, JFK Jr., Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That is the Trinity we have going on. And where was JFK Jr. living as a child? When he grew up as a teenager, and then he moved as an adult, started his
New
magazine,
York?
lived in New York City. Where did Donald Trump come from?
New York.
New York.
New York,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay, his dad had very little money, and all of a sudden this guy goes in like that.
Right.
Is there a connection between JFK Jr. and Donald Trump? Became friends. He passed on knowledge to Donald Trump,
Right.
I believe. Okay, and thus what we have is what we as a collective known as Q,
Q.
where people are out there at Donald Trump's rallies with the Q letter saying, we get it, we support it. And if you don't know what Q is, 4chan, 8chan is going to be coming right back up. You can learn all your stuff, start investigating now. It's too much to get into, but what I'm saying is the truth will always come to light. And Q is, and what QAnon has been posting for a while now,
Yeah.
has some of the things have come into light.
Right.
Okay? It's
Including
all
the letters that they shut off.
right.
Right.
You know, take it riddle, take it rhyme. But the point is that when you unlock everything and how it's supposed to look, it starts to make sense.
Yeah, you can't hide anything.
And you know,
anymore.
it goes back to
Pieces fit
if
together,
if
right.
that was if he was predicting this stuff 2 years ago, a year and a half ago about what's going on right now, and then people predicted this and that and this. We talk about time travel. And who's to say that all this wasn't put together for some way, shape,
You
or
know?
form, for some reason for it to happen the way it's happening right now?
It does make you
not
wonder.
not later on,
Right.
not beforehand,
Right.
but right at this very moment as we're going through stuff. We can talk about the dossier. You can talk about the what's going with his Biden and his son. You know, all these little things. It's all little things of why. What are
Right.
you trying to do? What are you trying to show? What is trying to be blocked?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't need to say anymore. And it all comes back to those boys and girls that showed up outside of Groom Lake and said, yeah, you may not millions be coming to Area 51, but we're going to come and we're going to show ourselves.
Right.
And we're going to let you know that we believe in this stuff, whether it be in aliens or, as they say, conspiracy realists now.
Right.
Right.
I like the term.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Conspiracy realists.
Right.
We're
Yeah, I
out
like
there.
the term better for sure.
And,
Right.
and,
So is the truth.
and so is the truth.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes,
Way to go.
yes,
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
That's an epic way to end it.
Boom.
I love it.
I think we should all toast to this. Let's toast.
I think
Even though everybody
that
can
is
see
a,
us?
I think that is a great way to end it with our red equate so's.
Yeah. Say something. You like it?
I already did. I drank. Oh, yeah. Some good stuff.
Take one more sip for me,
In
please.
Vino
One
Veritas.
more little sip. One more sip. There you go. One little sip.
In Vino Veritas.
Yeah.
Right. Before we sign off, that's great. This has been a great show. Got to
has
have you
been.
back. We haven't even
Absolutely.
scratched the surface. I mean, come on, man. I haven't even taken my little flick
No,
of
look, look,
wood
look.
off of this table right
The
yet.
things that we have
So,
accomplished today and
We
shut us
have.
off.
We got somebody's attention. That's
I'm
for sure.
excited. That means people watch.
They're
got
always
somebody-
listening.
That's
We got
right.
somebody's
They're
attention.
always
Do you-
listening.
Okay. Do you remember one last thing? Take us
Uh-huh.
out. Several years back, the guy stole the plane on the island, took it for a joyride. He committed suicide. Remember that?
I remember that very
they had
well.
Q
That-
all over that.
That was a
Don't you remember
Dash 8. That was a Dash
Yes. Do
8
you remember that?
aircraft.
Do you remember that? Tell Dave what that was all
So
about.
this guy who
This
was
is
supposed to be
amazing.
like working on a flight line, okay, whether it be in a fueler or maybe loading luggage onto an aircraft, took a Dash 8, and a Dash 8 is a twin-prop aircraft that pretty much does local flights. Let's say flying from Baton Rouge to Houston. Okay,
Like a regional jet type, regional.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Okay, well, he was took the Dash 8 from the Seattle International Airport. I want to say, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong because I don't know everything. But it was a
Close
big airport in Washington State. He took the aircraft.
Washington State.
It was in Washington
Yeah,
State.
yeah.
Washington.
Right.
He took the aircraft off the ground, took it on a runway.
It's better than me.
I don't think he even asked for taxi permission. First off, because I love air traffic control because I worked in Fly. This is my jam, y'all. My
Right,
jam.
right. Yeah,
I don't
take it
think he asked for taxi permission. I don't think when he got to the runway he asked for runway takeoff permission. The dude just got in the aircraft,
Man.
took the Dash 8 off, and he's talking to the tower. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I played flight sims, man. I played video games. I know how to do this." He's pulling up. He's turning
Look
around,
at the
going
video.
straight.
They
G's.
videoed all this. You
He's
can see
pulling
it.
straight down, but he ended up crashing the aircraft into a small little island, and
Island, yeah.
Well, what are the odds?
It's going to disintegrate on impact like that. It's not no suffering involved. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, go
Right.
on with that, Dave.
Well, it was the plane was a Q100 something model plane, Q100, and I don't remember all the specifics because it just brought to my mind just a minute ago. I was talking about it, but I did watch a YouTube video where they referenced the Q thing that we're talking about. All there's symbolism all in this whole flight, the way it works, the history of the guy flying the plane, the
Did he
plane
do
itself.
a figure Q?
I don't know. He did do something like that.
He did a figure Q.
He did like a loop like this. He sure did. He did a loop just like a circle and came back around like this.
Well,
He
that's
sure
almost the
did.
same way
He sure
that the Arlington's made out. Which, if y'all Google it, you can look at. It's pretty cool. The Arlington Cemetery area
Yeah.
view.
Right.
Yeah.
From-
Yeah.
Now, what she's saying
Right.
is Arlington Cemetery aerial view of JFK,
Yeah, JFK.
and Robert F. Kennedy's burial.
Yeah.
Okay, where they're
Right,
buried.
yeah, we mentioned
looking up
earlier,
from
right.
down below.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the island that he landed on and crashed on.
Was
even-
it a Q shape?
It had something to do with Q on it. It had something to do with Q.
Stop
I'm serious.
it.
It's Q all over this incident.
That dude
happened.
was legit.
Yes.
I wouldn't-
I don't know if he was
I'd have
trying
jumped
to.
out
I don't know
first.
if he was trying to bring attention to this or something. But
Did he really die?
and committed suicide?
Do they know?
They watched the plane.
It went
So they
down.
never seen him jump
Man,
out?
No. And when you're going those speeds and everything, even if you're jumped out, you're not. There's trees. Those become potential stabbing
yeah.
hazards.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The flesh of human is very, very thin compared to a tree branch. It's gonna go right through. This island was tons of pine trees. It was a small little island, and it was tons
Right.
of pine trees.
And he was actually in the plane. He didn't like remotely do it.
No. He's talking because he's saying, "Oh, I'm getting a little lightheaded." At some points, they were
I
like,
guess.
Negative
"Hey,
G, right.
hey, contact tower, blah 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 blah, aircraft." And he'd be like, "Whoa, I just got a little lightheaded. Sorry, I didn't answer back because he was
Right.
pulling some stuff."
You know, it would
Yes.
have been really cool if he would have questioned him instead of answered him. Answer him with a question. Brings a Q back
Right
in.
under Q, right.
He's trying to fly a plane. He really
are
doesn't know
you
how to
alive?
fly at all.
Are you alive?
It's amazing.
How are you flying? How are you flying?
Are
Where are you
you-
going? Where are you going?
are you really alive?
It's amazing the plane.
What's your name? What's your
withstood
name?
the structural capabilities of the plane. What he was doing. I mean, he just put that plane to the.
That's the
limit.
pretty
thing
cool.
too. That what gets me is that what he was doing in the pull of the forces didn't rip wings off or anything like that.
That's right.
They're not made to fly or even be tested like that in the first place.
Yes, right. And then we know the testing is within way smaller parameters and it can really go.
Correct.
So
Correct.
he was pushing it to the limits. But
Well, when you're on a mission,
yes, but if you go back, even the island, I remember the island had something to do with Q. It had all kind of symbolism to it. It's just
That is
amazing.
interesting.
It is amazing, right?
that's interesting.
And that was back in I don't know, about a couple of years back, kind of when the Q thing was kind of
Starting to come out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so if anybody's watching it or listening to this, I should say, hopefully
yeah,
wa-
because you're not watching.
you're watching the
We
thumbnail.
done full
This
blown
will
radio.
be Hunkum Hell or High Water. This will be on YouTube later on tonight. You'll be watching the thumbnail at this point in the show, but go and research that for sure.
Yep.
I had
stuff.
fun, guys. I was
I did
humbled
too.
and
So
honored
glad
to
you
be
came,
here. This
man.
was a great
It
time,
was.
guys.
What?
It
We
was
totally got
amazing.
shut
This is the
off.
most fun show of the year. In all due respect to all of our other guests, this was the most fun
we
show of the year.
know. You can't
Right.
not have fun with Area 51.
right.
It's
Thanks.
a storm, and it's coming.
Yes, right.
I'm still looking at the
okay,
camera.
but this is the thing: is that it came and it went, and now
Oh.
it's up to us.
This
What's
is
next?
the beginning.
It's
What's
up to
next?
those who have a voice. It's up to those who know how to use a voice. It's up to those who have compassion and the ability to want to say, guess what? We're done. We're tired. The dream that JFK had is still alive. The flame still goes. And by golly, we're not dead.
Nope, and we got
Yes.
money to fly to Nevada and storm
Right.
because
We need to go to
That's
Nevada
a
one
good-
day. We need to
that's
go
a
over there.
good
The
thing.
flights are cheap over there.
Are they?
Yes, the flights are cheap to Nevada, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they are. They are.
Yes,
yeah.
they're cheap because they want you to go over
They
there.
want you to go. They want you to spend money in Vegas.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not
yeah.
going to Vegas.
And blow your they blow your money in Vegas.
That's
I go
what
in
we
there
need
with
to
$50
have.
and that's it. My
We
max.
need to have the 50th anniversary party in Vegas.
in Vegas, Dave.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna have to ask for a day off.
Yeah, I might have to. Maybe 2, maybe a month.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, before we go, we had a great
But
show.
wait, you can't do that because what goes in Vegas stays in Vegas.
It does. That's the good part about
You
it.
know, that's bad because if we do a show, we can't stay.
Oh, that part can get out. Everything else, when the
Okay.
cameras are off, it stays in Vegas.
Okay.
But, okay. So, a great show. Look, we're going to have you back soon. I promise
Absolutely.
you. We got so much more to talk about. Great topic, Data, that you picked out. Before we leave, we always like to give our little co-sponsors a little plug. So, who are they?
We have pointcomputerreporter.com. Check them out. Got good gossip, good news.
Wait,
local.
hold on. Point could be reporter.
Pointcomputerreporter.com.
One more
Take
time.
2. Pointcomputerreporter.com. I really hope you still want to be sponsors after this because we talked about a lot
Oh,
of
no,
stuff.
they love us.
I'm
Good,
They're all about
good,
the gossip.
good.
I saw the guy that runs the website, prefers not to be named, but I saw him at the
Right.
Bonanza, and he says, great job on the show. He says, we still have you on our website. I'm going to ask him to put this show on the main feed page.
Right.
Yeah, it's all
right.
fun
Yes,
too.
right. It is. So he's going to do that. And so that's the online version of local news. Now,
Right.
who's next?
Oh, yeah, Point Could P banner.
The
Yes.
banner,
The
ladies.
PCB.
The PCB. Woo woo.
In the house. Not
Right.
really. But
Can you
close.
smell?
All right. And so they are not in the Stone Age anymore. So
No.
they have new ownership with John DuPont and some of the other
Color
guys. out there.
Pages, people.
Color Pages, right.
Need we say more? Pick it up at your
That's
local
right.
grocer.
If you have a coffee table, you can put a physical copy on your coffee table.
Yeah, you might want to
Yes.
stick with paper because as of now, the internet, okay, the interstate might be down too.
Oh, please don't tell me that. I got to drive back to Baton Rouge, girl.
Oh no, the internet's down.
Right.
So
that's it.
back to paper.
That's it. So
Paper is-
always have a
paper's
paper
it.
backup. PointCompUterReporter.com is good.
The pen will always be mightier than the sword. Remember that.
Amen
The
to
pen.
that.
The
You're
pen,
right.
baby.
That's exactly right.
That's
Exactly
right.
right. All right. Well, sounds great. Well, so we have our special guest on, of course, Mr. Alex Patout the
Yep.
third.
Yep.
And so thank you for coming. And you're going to be back on the show again. And
Sure, man.
for our Day of the
Sure.
Blu-ray, I'm David K. Gyro. This has been the Day of K Show. Please like this and share it. Get it out to as many people as you
Comments.
can. Yes, comments.
Like comments
Yes.
with suggestions. If y'all got any ideas, let us know.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. We see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.